What's up, guys? I'm going to be showing you guys some smart home apps that I use and walk through the Nest app today. I do have quite a few devices, so I'll post links to the other videos as I make them. So let's take a look at the Nest app. Launching the app, I have three devices from Nest. I have the outdoor camera, I have the Nest Protect, which is a smoke and carbon monoxide detector, and then I also have a Nest Thermostat, third gen. So when you launch the app, you're presented with a status of the home at the top, which if I tap that, I can basically set it to away, which will put my thermostat into eco mode, which will basically drop the temperature in more conservative zones, so it won't heat or cool as aggressively as if you're at home. And it'll also show you activity. So the Nest thermostat has a sensor at the bottom of it. You can't see it, but if you walk past it, it detects activity. And if it doesn't detect activity and you can specify the time, but for a couple hours, it'll automatically set the zone to, or set the status to away. That way you save energy if you accidentally forget to turn off the heat when you're leaving or AC when you're leaving, which does end up saving you money on your energy bill. So if we go back to the main screen, now you have any cameras that you have. I only have one, so you'll see that it says driveway. I'm in the middle of moving it and moving all the furniture around on the patio, so I apologize for the horrible display here, but it's a pretty wide angle camera. If I tap on it, it's going to take me to a full screen view, and you can pinch to zoom, so you can see it's pretty good quality, 1080p. You can talk through it too. It's two-way audio, so you see the microphone at the bottom. If I press that and hold it, of course it's being problematic right now. But if you press it, you can talk through the camera, and whoever's on the other end will be able to hear you. And then once you're done talking, if they talk back, it's got a microphone on it, and you'll be able to hear what they're saying. Now I pay for the subscription, so I get 3 days of continuous recording. Anytime there's activity, it'll record that, and you can see it in there. Now if you scroll, it'll run you through the last events that happened. I think you could think of it like a time lapse. As you can see, I'm scrolling back. This is night hours, super dark. It was raining, you can see the water. What's really neat is when it detects motion, it will zoom in on whichever area had motion. So you'll see that first event down here, or two of them. It has the cover zoomed in because that was probably what moved. So when it detected motion, it recorded, but it zoomed in on the area. As you can see, that cover moved. Same here, so I'm going to tap on it. It's going to bring me right to it, and it's showing motion by the cover. So yep, there it is, which is super helpful because if you're like me and you're not constantly on your phone looking at notifications, and you get an event that motion was detected, you don't know what moved or what changed. So pulling up the app, you can know immediately like which area of the camera had motion. If you tap on it, it'll take you right to it, and even a few seconds before the motion happened. So I know a problem with some other camera manufacturers is the motion happens, but you don't get the actual video a few seconds after the motion was detected, which is a great thing with Nest, where you can see it a few seconds before the event actually occurred. My cover is moving quite a bit. I need to move that out of the way. And then if you want to go back to live, I mean, there's a lot of events in here, but if you want to go back to live, press that and it'll take you to live. If you click the 5 days, you can go back, jump between days here. I love this time lapse, by the way, especially if you're in an area where it snows. You can see exactly like when it started snowing, and then you can scroll and see how fast the snow is falling. So if I'm at work and I want to see You know how much snow has been falling, especially in the driveway. I can quickly scroll through it and see. We also have associations, so I want to see if they're coming out or not, or if they've come out or not. I can quickly see that. Clicking the hamburger menu on the top right will bring you to recent events, and it'll tell you if it detected a person or motion. Now it's hit or miss on that. Sometimes it'll detect a person when it thinks that there's somebody there, but it's in reality it's a big object moving like this cover. That whole thing moves, it's gonna detect it as a person because it's a big item. If it's a leaf blowing across, it's not gonna detect that as a person, or some like a cat walks by or something. It's not gonna say it's a person. It's gonna say motion. Um, so that's nice to know if it's some wind kicking in or if it's actually a person walking by. In my situation, it's not very accurate because I have huge obstacles in the way. So we went through the top status driveway, just to take a quick look at the Nest Protect. This is very cool. It does auto check the system, so you don't have to test it. It automatically kicks in and it announces that it's going to do a quick check, and then it runs through its test so you're not caught off guard. As you can see, it tells you when the last status check was. For the sensors, the alarm, voice, battery, and Wi-Fi. Um, the alarm and voice, it looks like it's been a few days since it's done that, so I'm not sure why. I think it should do it every 30 days, but I might be wrong there. You can click view history and it'll give you a history of all the last checks that it's done. I'm going to press done there. The green means it's good. It's monitoring for smoke or carbon monoxide. If it's orange or red, that means it's detected either smoke, carbon monoxide, or it's 100% detected a fire. What's neat is the sensors have the ability to sense when there's food being burned or if there's actually like material that's not supposed to be cooked is being burned. What I mean by that is if there's plastic or wood or some kind of material that generally wouldn't, be a cooking smoke, it'll basically know that and it'll alert you through the smoke detector as well as through the app, which is really neat. If you have multiple ones, they'll show up and you can swipe through them. Another neat thing about the Nest is they all link up. So if you have a large home and you have 5 or 6 Nest Protects, if one kicks in, let's say in the basement, and you're on the way opposite side of the home and there's no way you can hear that, all of them will ding and say smoke is detected in the basement or wherever you have that smoke detector, which is really cool. And it'll also show you on your phone. So if you're not at home and you have pets or you have, kids that might not know what to do, you're going to get that alert so you can call them or you can call your neighbor or you can, look at your camera and determine if police is needed or the emergency services, and you can call them if needed. If you go to the settings, you can go into the settings for sound check, and you can prefer the time for when that sound check occurs. I don't want to do this during the nighttime because then it might alert me and wake me up. You can set up notifications for that. I just turned it off. Um, you can silence alarms through the Nest app. So if there's smoke and you're at home, instead of running to the smoke detector, you can just do it through the app. So it mutes it, which is really cool. Sorry, I'm gonna go back with works with Nest. What's really cool is if you have a camera, you'll see where it says your camera will automatically turn on and record a clip when there is smoke or carbon monoxide detected, which is really handy because if, let's say, a fire does happen and your smoke detector detects the fire or the smoke, you don't, no one's home, your place starts on fire. Um, by being able to record that, you can then go in and, whether there's an investigation or there's an insurance issue, you can pull up that video feed and see where that fire started, and how it progressed. Then you'll be able to capture that on video. I'm gonna go back to the main screen here. Moving on to the thermostat, all the way at the bottom. This is a really neat display because if you think of a Honeywell or thermostat or anything like that, they're usually round where you twist or turn it to either cool or heat. So it's kind of a similar design here. You can set there's two levers right now because it's kind of cold out, 37 degrees, so we have the heat turned on. So you'll see this bar that's moving up and down as I'm adjusting the setting. And then you'll see one other one that says 71, which is what the current temperature of the home is, where the thermostat is. Um, so if the 71 drops below this bar, let's say it's set, like my current setting is set to 68. If that 71 drops below that, it'll automatically kick on the heat. Now, what's really neat about Nest is it learns your behavior and learns your uh, use patterns, and it also knows how long it'll take to heat your home. So if it's 60 degrees and it has to get to 68, it knows that it's going to take 3 hours or 2 hours to get from 60 to 68. Let's say you wake up and every day it's 60 degrees in the morning, and then you set it to 68 at 8 a.m. The system will know how long it takes to kick in, so it'll learn that behavior. So when it's 7:30, let's say, and it takes 30 minutes to get from 60 to 68, it's going to automatically kick that on at 7:30, so it gets to 68 by the time it's 8. So you don't have to worry about waking up and then turning the thermostat to 68 and then waiting till 8:30 for it to actually get to 68, which is really neat. When you have the AC on, I'm not going to turn it on right now, but if you have the AC on, this bar that you're seeing here, it sets another one past 71. So if it goes above like let's say we set it to 73 for that second bar, if it moves past that, it's going to kick on the AC and drop it below the 73. And then if it drops below the 68 that we have set here, it's going to kick on the heat, so it brings it back above that, and it'll keep it between those two zones. Enough on that. So along the bottom you have modes. So as you can see, we have heat turned on. You can set it to heat and cool, or you can turn on the just AC or turn it all off altogether. Eco mode basically puts your temperature into a really conservative zone. So I think you can customize that setting, but I think I have it set to 60 degrees to heat, and then it's like 80 degrees to cool. So if it goes above 80, it'll kick on the heat, or sorry, if it goes above 80, it'll kick on the cooling, and if it drops below 60, it'll kick on the heat. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm at home. You can set the fan to run for a specified amount of time, and it'll just keep running for that. What that does is it'll circulate the air in the home. So if you have multiple levels in your home, and let's say your basement's always cool and your top of the house is always hot, if you run this fan, it'll circulate that air, so it means that the average temperature in the home is going to be much equal, instead of really cool and really hot all over the place. You can see the schedule here too, so we adjust the thermostat quite a bit, but it auto learns. So let's say this is not going to be a good example, but let's say at 6 you set it to 70 every day, and the last thing is 60 the day before, so it's pretty much 60 throughout the night. But let's say it takes an hour for it to get from 60 to 70, so it'll at 5 a.m. it'll automatically set it to 70, so by the time it's 6 a.m. it's set and you're ready to go, which is pretty cool. If I wanted to adjust this, I can either add a point or remove a point. If I want to adjust this, you just click and drag. So I can go left and right for the time, and then I can go up and down for the temperature, which is pretty cool. You can also see the history. You can see like how long you used heat or cooling. The leaf means that you were in an economical use. You didn't kill it with AC or heat. So that's kind of the overview of the Nest app. I'll go to the settings here. I forgot about that. So there's quite a few settings for the Nest thermostat, which is awesome. Auto scheduling is what I was referring to. It learns your behavior and adjusts your thermostat automatically and creates a schedule to match your heating and cooling preferences. So it'll basically proactively heat or cool. so you don't have to blast the heat just to get to your target temp, or blast the AC to get to your target temp. Um, this one, time to temp, is what I was also referring to. How, like, it knows how long it's going to take to reach a target temp, and it'll proactively kick it on before. Um, so this is a really neat feature too. If you're in the southern states, the sun can really heat up your home, so it can basically kick on the fan or AC before the sun rises. So it's more efficient in cooling the home before the sun comes out. There's a couple other features in here. I probably won't run through everything. Um, Sunblock basically prevents direct sunlight from hitting the thermostat to affect the temperature too much. Ours is not in a view of the sun, so I have it off, but that's really nice to have too. You can set your eco temperatures, so if you go into eco mode, if it drops below 66, it'll kick on the heat. If it goes above 85, it'll kick on the AC. And then if you, let's say, turn off your thermostat, like you're not using it at all and you're out of town, there's safety temperatures which will automatically kick in the heat or AC even if your system's completely off, which is nice. Like, let's say you're out of town and all of a sudden there's a freeze that happens. If the temperatures drop below 45, it'll automatically kick on the heat, no matter if you have the thermostat set to off or whatever the case is. You can also lock the thermostat, which basically prevents anybody from adjusting the settings. So let's say you have kids, or you're living with a parent that has dementia or memory issues, and they're constantly adjusting the heat, and you want to keep it locked in between the zones that I was showing you here. You can lock that thermostat so they don't turn it on or off too often. Equipment will also show you like what kind of heat filter reminder, which shows up on the Nest app as well as on the thermostat. So yeah, that's a overview of the Nest app. Comment down below if you guys have the Nest and what you guys think of it. If you have any questions, I'll be answering all the questions in the comment section below. If you like this video and you want to see more videos from these apps here, please like and comment what you want to see next, and then subscribe so once I do upload those, you get that notification. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, like the video so I can keep making these. It's going to show me that you guys are interested in this, so I can keep making these videos. Thank you.